you see this position, you might think that black is winning because the pawn is 2 squares away from queening. But then you realize that if white uses all these pieces efficiently, then white may not only just win the game but convert it into a massive checkmate. So the first move that comes to your mind is trying to get the king to the pawn, but that does not work because the king is very far away from the pawn. So instead you might try to get the bishop near by something like bishop e7, but that does not work because you can just push the pawn and the bishop is too late. It is also pinned by the new queen and you are just losing, and this is a very bad position. So instead, in this position, you may realize that the bishop already has an eye on the square of a1, which is the square of promotion, which means the pawn is going to promote on that square. But just the problem is that this pawn is in the middle. You might try to get rid of that pawn and play c3. The idea is that after the pawn takes, then the bishop comes back, and now the bishop has an eye on the promotion square and the promotion is stopped. And in this position, instead of taking, if black pushes, well, now you can push this pawn straight forward like this, because after he takes, now you are just seeing the promotion square. You can play that straight forward or after 2 moves. But the problem here comes if black just ignores. What black can here do is actually push this pawn straight forward, and now you are very late to stop this pawn and there is nothing you can do, and the promotion is unstoppable. So the only move that works, you might think, is pushing this pawn to c4, but straight away doing that does not work, because if you think that if he takes en passant, well, I can just take with the bishop and the same thing again, I'm stopping the promotion. But the problem comes if he takes with the king, and now the pawn is here and you cannot do anything to remove it. So the solution to it is that don't push this pawn straight forward. First, push d3 and prepare this move c4. So once this pawn is pushed, you can give this check, and in this position it is a bit complicated because he cannot take this pawn. If he goes anywhere in this 3 squares, imagine here, then you can just take the pawn and you are eyeing the square of promotion. So instead, if the king goes to c5, you need to keep in mind that you can play the move king to b7, and if he plays a1 is equal to queen, well, then bishop to e7 is just checkmate out of nowhere.